Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, it's going to be a different type of video. I put out a tweet yesterday and basically asked about everybody's opinion on Unlimited on Twitter, really regardless of their record. I just want to know what people's records are and what their opinion is of the mode. Just get the picture of everybody out there's opinion on MyTEAM Unlimited this year, what needs to be fixed, what they like, that type of stuff. We're going to spend a good 10-15 minutes here just going over people's opinions and discussing what they have to say. And this literally ranges from some of the best players in the community to players like Lil Timmy down the street. I mean, which is actually kind of what I want because it gives us a great picture, and I just want to see what the consistent themes are that people are complaining about, and I think I have a good idea as to what those things are going to be. But basically discussing what needs to be changed in this mode to make it a more positive experience, because as of right now, I would not say MyTEAM Unlimited is a very positive, fun experience, and I don't think it's something that most people enjoy the way that they used to enjoy the mode. The mode used to be a crown jewel mode of MyTEAM, and at this point, it is probably everybody's least favorite online mode for the most part. A lot of people don't play it at all. So regardless, without further ado, I guess let's hop into it. Let's discuss what we have to talk about here. We'll start off with my boy Meech. He says he's 33 and 37. He's never had this much problem since he started in 2K20. The algo feels super strong. Gameplay feels stiff. There's almost no counter to smother off ball. Screens plaster like crazy. People just run around in circles. The game always feels delayed. Just not a good online game experience. I honestly think this comment right here, in addition to a couple of the other ones we're going to go through, kind of capture the main essence of the issues. The way people play offensively is, for the most part, very low skill. It's a lot of run around in circles. The way they play defensively is also very low skill. It's a lot of, I mean, there are obviously skilled players in Unlimited. I think it's the most skilled it's ever been in terms of the player base in the mode, and that's contributing as well because of skill-based matchmaking, obviously. But the smother off-ball defense is really ruining the gameplay in a lot of ways because it is not fun to play. It is incredibly hard to beat if you are not a sweat elite level player, and you should not have to be an elite level player to consistently score on off-ball defense. Off-ball defense should be the worst form of defense, especially the hard off-ball. Not the switch on and off-ball and rotate and make things happen. The sit in the corner on your off-ball center should be incredibly easy to beat. There is no other sports game in which the game just plays defense for you at an incredibly elite level, and that is the most viable way to play defense for most people. Like, that is the #1 issue in my opinion. And then Jazz, his comment, kind of the same type of thing. Skill-based matchmaking, algo, RNG, overpowered CPU defense, perfect defensive cards with underpowered offensive cards with no SIGs. That's the problem. Corner sitting on defense. The list goes on. The absolute worst experience in gaming, period. I honestly kind of agree with this. And the sad part about this is somebody like Jazz. Jazz is the only 2K next maker right now who is consistently playing MyTEAM Online and MyTEAM Unlimited. He is the only one. And I appreciate the hell out of Jazz. I mean, I really do appreciate that he gives MyTEAM his legitimate, honest thoughts. And I do appreciate the fact that they haven't gotten rid of him yet. But I'm also a little surprised they haven't, because everybody else is, I mean, I hate to say a shill, but I think most everybody else involved in the next maker community is kind of a shill. And they also don't play online, so they don't get the experience that a lot of us online players are getting this year. And I think Jazz has a great point. Skill-based matchmaking is bad. The algo is horrible. It's the worst it's ever been. When I say algo, by the way, I just want to say what I am talking about specifically when people talk about the algo is when it feels like the game is against you. And I'm not just saying when one possession or one bad animation goes against you. I'm saying when you play a quarter straight and every loose ball goes your opponent's way, feels like it is impossible for you to green a shot, feels like your opponent can't miss, feels like every single thing, no matter what, goes in the exact favor of your opponent. That's a real thing. There is an algorithm to this game, and the algorithm does pick an opponent to favor a lot of the time, and it happens too much in my opinion, especially this year. It feels the worst that it ever has. This year, it feels often like you are less in control of the success or failure of your team than you have ever been. And again, I think that is in a large part going in combination with the fact that people are putting less effort into their own defense and into their own gameplay because it is less skillful and more toxic than it has ever been in terms of the gameplay itself. You're noticing, by the way, people so far, they're not complaining about the rewards. They're complaining about the gameplay. Everyone is fake tough because there's no card with Danny's, and then and dudes just run around in circles. It's the circus. This is Breezo. He's a competitive player on Xbox. I like hearing the competitive player input because I kind of agree. There's a lot of players who feel very good when you're playing against them in Unlimited because cards don't have SIGs, which again makes the defense, the off-ball defense, very OP because we have these elite 99 all-defense cards who with the best off-ball defensive animations that I feel like we've ever seen in my team, and it just is almost impossible to score the ball right now against somebody playing like that. And then offensively, because it is so challenging to score against the defensive AI, the offense is very much run around in circles, and that is annoying to stop. It's toxic in of itself. A lot of backdoors still. I mean, there's a lot of frustrating things with the gameplay right now, and I think it's interesting to see. We're seeing the competitive players say that, but it's not only the competitive players. Carson said he went 4-1 to get his rating. Defense is mostly on ball. He says it's not a great mode. He didn't give me a ton of input on what he dislikes about the game mode, but glad he was able to go 4-1 this week, and that's good. He's 25-17 so far in Unlimited this season, so not too bad. Phantasma says he's 92-39. The overpowered CPU defense is his dislike, but he likes the content's been good. I think that's actually a pretty common thing. People like the content. They just don't enjoy the gameplay, and there's another comment right there. Overpowered CPU defense. Not a fan of that, by the way. Appreciate you, Phantasm. I've done a bunch of gameplays on his accounts in the past, so really appreciate that. Fed says skill-based matching is absolutely ridiculous. Algo on rebounds, fouls, steals when you aren't moving the ball, and of course, AI defense is OD. Yep. I mean, the algo is bad. The AI defense, of course, is OD. Noticing everybody's noticing that it is hard to get defense off, especially against the defense, the AI defense. It's really hard to get threes off unless you're great with your fade timing, and even then, it can be tough at times because if the algo's against you, they will literally get through every single screen, just warp through screens. It's pretty ridiculous. Big Bird pros content, yes, 100%. I agree. Content has been great. Lots of free cards. Love that. Top tier cards are as accessible as they've ever been. That's entirely true. Outside of the lock-in cards, which we haven't actually been getting recently, the top tier cards are as accessible as they've ever been. The sellable game mode rewards, also a huge pro. Love that. Now, cons, mostly gameplay. Again, y'all are noticing a theme here. The problem right now is the gameplay. People aren't mad about the rewards. The rewards are good. The content is good. There are free cards across the mode. You're noticing people don't like the gameplay. Freelances work when the game wants it to. That's true. Spacing isn't as good as it's supposed to be. They announced this new comp and 5-out freelance this year to give us more proper spacing for those of us who wanted to space the court out, and they still don't work properly. Players still cut for no reason and still do things that they aren't supposed to do. Space to the wrong areas of the court, that type of stuff. Interceptor steals work 10% of the time. Another small issue there. Interceptor isn't as good as it should be this year, especially when you are on the ball. The on-the-ball defense, when you hit X, you will often not play the ball. It's bad, especially when you have Interceptor. It should not be that as big of an issue as it is. Off-ball AI, forgive 90%, 99% of the user's defensive mistakes. Yet another comment about how strong the off-ball defense is. Again, it's too strong. We need that nerfed. That's the biggest gameplay problem right now. Cards have horrible dribble sigs, making it damn near impossible to 3-hunt without screening and fading. Entirely true as well. The only way to get threes off with consistency is to run into screens and fade, get players stuck on screens, use push crosses and a few of the cheesy, actually decent moves that are in the game to try to get fades open. That is one of the very few ways to effectively 3-hunt in this game, though, which is a problem. The thing is, if you go back and look at 2K21's competitive gameplay, 2K20's competitive gameplay, even 2K22 on current gen's competitive gameplay, it's not very fade reliant, which I think is the way that it's supposed to be. 3-hunting is way too reliant on fade shooting these days because the contest system is too good, and again because the off-ball defense is way too good. Cards don't have SIGs. Then this is the problem again with pacing that I keep talking about. We have defensive cards. For example, let's just pull up a card on 2KDB, a defensive card right now, an elite defensive card. Like we just got Jonathan Isaac, for example. He's an elite level defensive card. 2K24 Jonathan Isaac right here. He's got a bunch of defensive Hall of Fame badges on the perimeter and the interior, 95 plus on basically every single defensive stat. He's incredibly complete and incredibly good. Super duper souped up. There's a ton of defensive cards like that. The problem is there's like 3 or 4 cards with halfway solid SIGs and a good release that you can actually like attempt to 3-hunt with. And there is nobody with a combination of elite SIGs and an elite release that you can really work with. I mean, your closest bet is guys like Kobe or I guess Devin Booker if you want to just shoot fades all game. Like there just aren't very many options. Adam Morrison, his release sucks. Like there's just not options for defeating the way that the defense is. Cons part 2, the algo is as strong as it's ever been. Again, another comment about the algo. It's very bad. Screens, I don't hate how hard screens hit because it's so hard to get open. I don't think screens are actually consistent because if the algo's against you, it feels like screens don't touch at all. So I wouldn't totally agree with that one personally, but I'm Appreciate your input. And then backdoors are still a bailout. Yes, they are. If you know how to backdoor properly, they're still very, very good. Okay, I am 9 minutes into this video, and I've only touched a few people. I'm just going to scan through each person's opinion. Hibachi said he isn't playing Unlimited anymore. It's just not worth it even when he wins. This is another common theme. People don't enjoy winning even when they lose. Or even when they're winning, they don't enjoy it. Like Hibachi's not playing, and he has a great record. Dexterity, you are 80 and 40. That's not bad. He didn't give me any sort of opinion on what he thinks. B1S literally not even playing. 0-0 because hell no. There's a bunch of comments like this. 20 and 5. That's pretty good. 4 and 4. Just bought it Friday. So this is a recent new opinion. Most guys just off ball. Computer defense beats every pass. And it seems like there's a legit lag on passes. This is an interesting point that I noticed a few other times in these comments as well. And something that I actually talked about in one of my videos a couple weeks ago. The ball does not move as quickly as it should in my team. The defense moves too fast and the ball doesn't move fast enough. In real life, if you pass the ball quickly, ball movement beats good rotation and good defense. In 2K, that is not the case. Because of the way the contest system is very OD and because of how good these defensive cards are and how good they play in game, the ball does not move fast enough to defeat the CPU swinging, rotating defense, which I think is a big flaw. I think that's a huge issue. I think that's one of the big issues right now that we're having. Daryl says he's 24 and 41 after going 86 and 50. Well, skill-based matchmaking. There you go. It's hard. I'm glad you're enjoying the rewards. This is a positive comment right here. I agree. The rewards are great. That is the best part of the experience for sure. Jay doesn't even play Unlimited, and he's another one of those not playing Unlimited. I don't disagree with it. Makes sense to me. 45 and 38. His biggest gripe is that 2K scripts games. This is again the algo conversation. They pick one team to make shots, have 10 times better animations, etc. I knows others have felt that too. I've noticed that comment already several times out of just the comments that I've read. And again, look how many comments we have on this post. I mean, I can keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I just don't have time to go through 100+ comments of people sharing their opinion, but I recommend and encourage y'all to go through and read each of these comments because it's a lot of people explaining the same stuff. The game feels so algo-based, and CPU on-ball defense is so OP that off-balling is viable against good players. Game is just a mess right now. You'll notice this is super consistent theme. Things like skill-based matchmaking, algo, and off-ball defense are people's main complaints. And it's very fascinating that it seems like that is most people's complaints. There are other complaints as well. Ryan's complaining about the screens as well. The screens can be pretty good. I honestly think the screens need to be good because it's one of the only ways you can actually shot create because you can't beat an off-ball defense, so you have to run pick and roll. The inability to make whites, I'm personally a fan of, but to each their own. Some people disagree. Regardless, it's fascinating to see how many people have this level of a negative opinion and such similar concerns and complaints as well. It's just very interesting to see. And I think, yes, improved dribble sigs, which I'm sure will be coming at some point, will help. I wish it had already come. It doesn't feel like the pacing on the offense is on the same level as the pacing defensively when it comes to animations, which is a real shame to me. But at the same time, the rewards are great, and I will give 2K credit for that. There is a positive, and the main positive would be the fact that the game mode is as rewarding as it has ever been. The problem is it is the least enjoyable to play that it has ever been. I think the gameplay is basically the worst and the lowest skill that I think it has ever been, and that combined with skill-based matchmaking that makes it to where you are matching up against sweats every single game makes it not as much fun because plain and simple people like to win. And I understand that you're not going to win every single game, and obviously there have to be people with losing records and people who struggle, but we have never had this much complaints about the unlimited game mode. There have never been this many exclusively sweats playing in the unlimited game mode. You will notice with the way the skill-based matchmaking is, you will only play sweats if you are a solid player or better, and that is a problem. Like, there are so many issues with this game mode right now that need to be addressed, and I am hoping to see those things addressed maybe at the beginning of Season 5 in the gameplay patch. Otherwise, if we don't see them addressed then, I just don't think they're going to get addressed this year, and we're just going to have to wait till next year and cross our fingers and hope that it gets improved. But it's a real shame that the flagship mode in my team, and one of the ideal flagship online modes in sports gaming, is in such a negative state right now where it is so unenjoyable for the majority of the player base, even the players who do play it a lot. And again, I encourage y'all to go read through these literally 100 and something comments that I got on this post yesterday about Unlimited. Unlimited because it is fascinating to see how many people have very, very similar opinions. And if this many people who are actually playing the mode have the same opinions, that probably means there might be some truth to the opinion. Literally have hundreds of comments, not hundreds, but over 100 comments on this, ranging from everyone from competitive players to just the normal unlimited guy who gets in the mode once a week after work. You know what I mean? Like, it literally ranges between everybody, which I'm a fan of. So hopefully y'all did enjoy the video. I literally just wanted to get y'all's opinions and share y'all's opinions. And the fact of the matter is, it looks like y'all's opinions are pretty similar to mine for the most part, which is nice. And I'm glad to see that we're on the same page there. The fact of the matter is, when there are this many people on the same page and this few people opposing that opinion, it's time for some change and it's time for some improvement. And I think we have given 2K all of the reason they need for some improvement. Will there be that improvement? I have no idea. With that being said, I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.